there were these three ladies that were they all turned 100, and they met. And one of them says, you know, my son, for my 100th birthday, he bought me a condo in Miami, Florida. Wow, unbelievable. The other one says, that's nothing. My son got me a limousine with a chauffeur and a butler to help me with all my problems. Unbelievable. The other one says, that's nothing. My son told me that every single week he spends 4 hours in therapy and all he talks about is me. You don't want your kids in 10 years from now and 20 years from now being in therapy talking about, my father never hugged me, I needed love, they didn't express love. Stop it. They have needs that we maybe didn't need or we needed and we didn't get. Now they have a need. You have vitamin L in your pocket, right? Vitamin love, vitamin H, hug. And I don't hug, I don't love. So for KIPS, kids in pain, I've literally forced parents to hug their kids, and I've told them things that I don't want to repeat. For example, I told one father, I said, your kid is suicidal, right? By the Levaya, you're going to want to hug your kid. Hug her now. Why do you have to wait for Levaya, God forbid? Hug your kid now. All those things you're going to say by the funeral, say them now. Oh, I'm so sorry, I never told you that I love you so much, and I'm proud of you, and I know how much pain you were in, and you're so amazing. Yeah, write it down. Write down the speech now and say it now. Now they're alive. They're dying for your acceptance. Literally, some of them are dying for your acceptance. So I don't hug. Really? Which part of your arms can't go like this? Which part? Be misgaber. Kids today need hugs. Kids today need love. They need expressions of love. They need it constantly. Like this guy tells, they were in marriage counseling, and the wife says, you never say I love you. He said, I said it the day we got married. If anything changes, I'll let you know. What do I have to keep on saying it for? Right? They need it. Go to Walmart, to the Hallmark section. Section. Write it yourself. Copy it. You can even have Chat GPT, what's it called? AI, artificial intelligence. Write a nice card to your kids if your intelligence can't come up with a few words of saying, I'm proud to be your father. You know, there are people who, we had parents from the Holocaust, and they remember the place that they were standing, or that the father said, I'm proud of you. It was like, okay, and not all of us went on drugs because of it, you know, but it was a big deal. Today, kids need it. I want to tell you a story. True story. All my stories are true. There was a family that came here, and I told them what I tell all of you. I don't care if it's your minhag or not, but starting this Friday night, it's your minhag. If you have a kasha, a shaila, ask your rabbi. He will tell you it's okay. Friday night, you bench your kids. First of all, it's brought down from the Arizal, and it's a powerful thing, but I'm not even talking for spooky. You need to bench your kids. You bench your kids, you put your hands, you say, is it okay if I bless you? When I had Home Sweet Home kids around my table, I would bench my kids and I would say, free bracha? You want a blessing? A lot of times in the beginning, they'll be like, no. I'll be like, no problem, I respect you. You know? Tossing you good vibes, you know? And then a lot of times they'll be like, okay, and I do Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, because they don't want to be touched, you know? Do Wi-Fi. And I would always say, you should be very happy. I don't say Hashem, because it was a trigger for them. God, a lot of them said they don't. I wish they should have a really happy week, a great week at work, and whatever you're doing, and a happy life. They love that. Okay? So you bench your kids. If they don't want to be touched, you don't touch them. But here's what happened. You bench your kid. If they let you, you hold their face. You whisper something in their ear. I'm so proud to be your father. That's magic. That's medicine for our kids who are successful, and especially those who are struggling, and especially those who are in crisis. It's magic. I am proud to be your mommy. I'm proud to be your father. I like you. My life is complete with you here. I love it when you're near me. It's like romantic words, romance. We need it for our kids. Okay. So they went ahead, and this father told me, I bench my kids every Friday night, and I kiss them, but I don't hug them. So I said, hug them. Now I thought to myself, listen, a lot of people don't bench. He benches, and he kisses, right? So that's pretty good. What's the big deal about a hug? A few weeks later, I met the son who's in Kailul with a bunch of kids, and he happened to go home for Shabbos. And he came over to me, and he was schmoozing with me, and then I see he gets like really shy. He's a successful, stable, young man with a few kids already. And he starts like getting all shy, and he says, thank you. I want to thank you. I said, why? He goes, my tati hugged me. Friday night, my tati hugged me. And I couldn't believe how much he cared. He said as soon as, they have a large family, he said as soon as he started, he benched, which was normal, kissing, and then he gave a hug, the other kids were like, and then the next one, a hug, he said the younger kid said, Tati's hugging. Like these poor kids are dying for a hug, it's free, isn't it? It's cheaper than therapy. These kids really, it was a regular mainstream family. The regular kids, forget about the kip, who also needed it. They were so excited to get a hug, right? And they finished, go to mommy, and mommy give a hug and say, I love you so much. I like you. Each one is powerful. I like you is about you, right? Proud to be. Find something nice to say. If you have to write it on your hand before Shabbos, and then while you're hugging, you can look at the cheat sheet. You can do that also, okay? But it becomes very natural. It becomes very natural. I hug my kids. I kiss my kids, my grandchildren. It's so cute. I have my grandchildren now, and I started asking them. I never thought about doing that for my older kids. I asked them, what should I bench you? What do you want to be? And they're so nice when they're younger. And he's like, I want to be a tzaddik. I'm like, oh. My older kids, I don't ask because they just want money. Like, I'm kidding. But it's beautiful. You hug them, and they need it, they need it, they need it. Start this Friday night. Hug all your kids. Hug everybody that you can hug. We don't all have to be out in such a situation to realize that people today need hugs. And I was not a hugger. In yeshiva, we didn't really hug. It wasn't major hugging. I started working with the kids on the street, and they're all hugging me. And you see them on the street, they're like, yo, and they're hugging each other. I'm like, what? They're hugging. Like, they need hugs. All of our kids need hugs. And the shocker was the koil guy who was stable and married and kids. He was mamish, so happy that he got a hug from his father. So let's use the words that kids need today. Imagine you move to China and you have to speak Chinese. I don't speak Chinese. You're not going to be able to help your kids. You want to connect to your children, your grandchildren. You got to use the language of today. The love languages, buy the book, figure out their love languages. You got to hug them. You got to take care of them emotionally. Everything today is emotionally. All the pain is emotional pain. Baruch Hashem. I'm not saying we don't have sick people, nebuch, there's physically ill people, but all the problems, the spiritual problems, I never found a kid with a spiritual problem. All emotional pain, mental anguish, tsar. And this helps them on all levels. It helps them steig in yeshiva. It protects them from having, it gives them like an immune system, boosts their immune system. It really, really does. So please go ahead and do that.